What do you do when life feels empty and nothing excites you anymore? And it's not like you're sad or depressed. It's just like nothing really matters anymore. Like something is missing. In this video, I want to explain how we get into this state, but more importantly, how we can get out of it. And this is the stuff I have learned from living with a nun and studying self-development, spirituality for over a decade. So let's begin. So this is the scale of consciousness. This is something that David Hawkins came up with. So we're going to use this to explain how to get out of it and also how you get into it. So what happened in your life is that at some moment of time, you kind of stopped feeling. Like you used to be so alive, you used to be so vibrant, you used to be excited for everything, but somewhere you started hiding parts of yourself that needs to be allowed to be shown for you to like really be yourself. You started hiding your authentic self. What this does is this just puts a mask on you. And when you have a mask on, you will never be like this super vibrant person with a fire in him. So basically, what happened is when we go through life, hard things happen. Like was numb for a while, and it was very hard for me. Like I had just had a breakup, and I was like, "Fuck this shit! Like, what? Why does anything matter?" And I started hiding because there was so much pain, so much suffering that I just couldn't really live with it at that moment of time. So I pushed it down. I pushed it down under the carpet, which we all do. We are very used to pushing things down under the carpet. And what really happens is when we do that is we don't fix anything. We're not making anything better. Instead, we're just putting walls around ourselves and our vibrant, authentic self. And what happened for me was after a while, I'm like going to bars, hooking up with a woman, and I feel so dead inside. And I'm like, what's the point of this? And I actually started crying when I was in bed with a girl. So that was a bit of a fun story. But after I came home, I just felt all of the stuff I had put under the carpet completely destroy me. So that's a little bit how. And then I started self-development, started meditating, and lived with a nun. And like I really went hard to find myself back to the spark, to the point that whenever I was out, people's like, "Oh, I love your energy," and I want that for you too. And it's not very hard to do. It's gonna take some practice, but it's not very hard. So as I said, this is the scale of consciousness. And what happens is you're actually going to apathy when we push things down after a while, and you can see it's very, very low on the scale. Like shame is mostly when people are depressed or suicidal. Guilt is when we feel bad for something we have done. And you kind of want to go up the ladder. But the thing with apathy is it's a bit different. Like the only way out of apathy is actually grief. And I know as a man, you're like, grief, I don't want to cry. And crying is not weakness. In fact, letting out all of the things that really you push down and allowing yourself to cry is the only way out of apathy. So from this nun, I learned that we learned like this loving meditation, metta meditation, and it's incredible. But the thing is, even with that meditation that has so much powerful results for everyone, if they are in apathy, it will do nothing. So to get out of your numbness and how to get your spark back, you're gonna have to move up the ladder. And then we can go up very, very fast. through the ladder. And you gotta understand that this is like dead energy. Like if someone in shame walks in the room, you feel like a darkness or you feel like a low energy, guilt, same apathy. It's pretty dead. And all of these vibrations is just much more energy and you will just have an aura. And this is really what an aura is. So to get out of apathy, what I learned from the nun was forgiveness practice. And it's very, very simple and it's very, very powerful. All you say is, I forgive myself for not understanding. And whenever you do that, something will arise in your mind and it will be like, I forgive myself for being a bad boyfriend, or I forgive myself for being a bad father, or I forgive myself for whatever arises you want to forgive. And then when you have forgiven that, then you say, go back to the main phrase, I forgive myself for not understanding, and you go up. But you don't even have to do this practice. What you have to do is have the balls or have the courage to actually feel. You have to have the courage to feel what you have hidden from for so long. And this is hard. As men especially, we're taught like, oh, crying makes me weak. Like being a victim, crying to everyone else makes you weak. Dealing with your emotions and letting out a cry doesn't make you weak. In fact, it will revitalize you and energize you. So you want to start adding things that makes you want to change your focus in your mind. Like if you've been numb for a long time, whatever I'm saying right now is not going to be, oh, that's not going to work. But that's because your mind and your patterns of the mind has become a habit. It's become your entire personality. But this numbness is not your personality at all. It's just something that you created to protect yourself. Like a part of yourself was in too much suffering that you couldn't deal with the emotion at that point of time from if it was a trauma or whatever it was. And then you pushed it down. It was a protection mechanism from your nervous system because you couldn't handle it. But the thing is, all parts of yourself and all negative ideas you have about yourself, they just want needs to feel safe and seen. So there's also a guided release I did on the channel. You can check it out if you wanna really get out of this apathy. But I wanna go one step further right now. Like, I don't really want just to get it out of apathy. I want you to have the tools to go into like this or yeah, this probably don't make much sense yet. But basically, the lower is like hell. It's like hell on earth. Like you're just so dead inside that you're like, what is the point of this? Like you go to your job, you do, even if you have like a partner, you're like, ah, this sucks. What happened to me? What happened to that spark? What happened to that glow? And to really, really fix that thing, you need to deal with your limiting beliefs, your shadows, your whatever you kind of call it. There's nothing wrong with you, though. I want you to know that there's nothing wrong with you. It's just that parts of yourself couldn't handle what happened and they need to be felt. Like your inner child. Now it sounds like this spiritual thing. Like your inner child is just basically a part of yourself that didn't grow up with you and is still scared or whatever. So you basically have to give it permission to be felt, to be seen, and all of that. And yes, small things you can do during the day that really helps with apathy is just do the guided release I put on my channel. Like do it once a day, do it twice a day. I might record a more intense version, a stronger version if people want that as well. But that's basically how you get out of apathy. Like, there's no other way. You cannot get out of apathy by focusing on love. You cannot get out of apathy by trying to focus on like inner love, because look at the difference in frequency, and this is like massive, massive energy. Instead, you have to go up to grief. You have to allow yourself to cry. Yeah. Is there anything else? And once you start crying, you will start finding like cracks in the walls of your perception, and the more joy, more and more happiness, and more aliveness will suddenly peek through the cracks. And just follow that aliveness and also do things that make you more alive. Like, what makes you happy? What makes you excited? Do more of those things, because what happens when we go into numbness and we go into this thing is that we stop doing all the things that actually brought so much joy into our lives as well, because we're like, it's not gonna work anyway. And this is, you can see this is like a victim abuser consciousness. And once you got up this, which is gonna be an entire different video, we can really, really just charge through these up to acceptance. And this is also how you heal, like super fast, but that's for another video. And so after a while, if you do this, like, you have to be persistent. You have to understand that you have been doing this numbing down of feelings for years, months, maybe even a decade. So it's not going to be fixed in a day. And no psychologist is going to fix numbness in a day at all. It's not going to happen. But over 3 months, you can have a massive shift. Like, I had massive shifts with my clients. Like, I had a client just message me like, I cried tears of joy for the first time in like 20 years. So this is something really, really powerful, but it won't work if you're so afraid to cry and actually let yourself feel whatever you need to feel. Because there is hope, my friend. There's never been, I know it might feel hopeless right now, and you might be looking at this video. If you're even watching this video right now, well done. And you'd be like, it's not gonna work for me. But wherever you are, I probably was in a worse state. Like, I was completely suicidal. Like, I was like, fuck life. Everything sucks. I don't like anything. I hate everyone. And I was like walking around like a dark cloud around myself. So there is a way out. But it's gonna take dedication to train your mind and really, really practice feeling the emotions. And then if you want to work one-on-one, I also offer that, so you can message me. But other than that, it's just do the guided releases I sent. There's no other way out. Sorry to say this, you have to go to grief. You cannot skip grief. And this is something very interesting, because usually on this ladder you can skip steps, but you can't skip grief. So anyway, thank you so much for watching this video. Write down your comments below, and so you really, really, if you have any questions as well, and I will answer them. So, yeah, have a wonderful day and bless you.